This is project 6. It's a simple collage. You're going to make it with 2 images and then make it into an arty poster by adding textures and abstract layers and things, plus a border. We're going to start with making a 8.5 by 11 horizontal file. We're going to use the standard US paper default, but make it 11 inches wide and 8.5 inches deep. Lower the DPI to 150 because it's going to be a really big file anyway. And let's call it Project 1. No, Project 6. Okay, and your initials. Hit OK. Going to draw in some guidelines about 1/2 inch in from all sides, because you're going to be building a border, and these will keep your image well within the border so that when you trim it down you won't be cutting anything out. First thing we're going to do is get the background to the image. It's Ruins is the name of the file. I'm going to open that up. Open Ruins, and we'll click. And drag it to our new image. Move tool. There we go. I can close up Ruins now. I'm going to zoom back and hit Command T and scale it to fit. Hold the Shift key down, of course. Double click to make it set. And now I'm going to drag the second image over here as well. Old Man. That's what it's called. Open. Double click to open that. Move tool. Drag him over. Close up the original file. Control T. Zoom back. Scale him. That looks pretty good. Zoom in. I'm going to make a mask for Old Man so that I can make the transition between him and the ruins a little bit better. Be on the mask layer, the Old Man layer. Click there. Can move him in a little bit. I'm going to lower his opacity temporarily so I can see what I'm doing. Kind of like him like that. And back on the mask. Use a wide, soft brush. Oops, that's a little too big. Let's say 500. Okay, lower the opacity. And hit the default key and then the X key to get black up there. And just multiple strokes at a low opacity. Hitting the X key to kind of bring them back in. Increase your opacity here so you can see them all the way through. Hit the X key, like that. Like that. Reduce the size of the brush with the bracket key. Push the opacity all the way up. And now you can, oops, Command Z, X, having it set on white so that you can just bring it back up in. Just want to make sure that his hand and arm are showing, but that his sweater is softly fading into the background picture. So there we go. I'm going to switch back down to that bottom layer now and move it over a little bit, getting rid of that extra piece there and maybe moving it up some. So there we have our basic collage. Still have some softness here. I'm going to have to go into the mask again to fix that. And Z when you do something wrong, of course. X. There. Get that fixed again. I'm going to save my file. And it's going to want to save as Photoshop. It was a JPEG. This is perfectly fine. Now I'm going to add a texture layer to the top of this. I'm going to open another file, a pre-built texture, old grungy film. There's a lot of free ones out there on the internet. I just found this one. Open. There we go. Move tool. Drag it over. Get rid of the old one. Control minus to zoom back. Control T to grab the whole file. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and rotate it. And then the Shift key down and grab a corner. And reduce it. I want texture everywhere. I don't want the border for now. Just texture everywhere. Like that. Double click and hit OK. I'm going to zoom in again now. And change the mode of this layer, because obviously you can't see through it now. I'm going to change it down to, you can see if you hit multiply it gets dark. If you hit screen it gets light. So let's go into this next batch that'll do multiple different things. That doesn't show up as much as I want. That's overlay. Another common one is soft light, that's a little bit more subtle. Let's just switch to linear light. That may be too much, but I can go back on my density to calm it down, so that's what I'm going to do. I like the way it looks. Go here and reduce the opacity. 70% or so.